Hello, everybody. The thing about hate is that it's just that. When we look at this whole situation with Carmelo Anthony, and like I said, I've been following it since day one. I'll never forget the day the news broke that a teenager was killed at a track meet and everything. And I was sitting in my beautician's chair. And literally, she and I was like, what? How did it escalate? How did it go? But being a parent of a black youth, I know exactly how it goes. I know what it's like to go to a school and you have to prove your child's innocent all the time. Like I told you yesterday, there was a situation where my son was constantly picked at by this kid. And the final straw for my son was he threw the arm part that you put on of your backpack. He threw it around his neck and was pulling it. And my son lost it. And he went to town on the little boy. Well, like I said, when we went in there, now I'm a different kind of parent, and y'all know because if you look at any of my videos, you know, like that girl. Sometimes she say stuff, but I mean what I say. Okay, I'm just being honest. And when it comes to mine, I'm ready to go the distance for mine. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I would be at that school and I was always there. And I remember, like I said, I was already there waiting for him to come out when they called me into the office. We had walked up there, we're in walking distance, and I had my dogs out and walked. And I told my oldest son, wait out here. So we went in to handle it. And I let that principal know. I said, first of all, my child does not have a record of being violent. Go check his record. I said, what about this kid? Well, you know what they said. Oh, we can't share anything about that child. I said, fine. I'll do the work for you. But I tell you what, you suspend him and you don't suspend that other kid, and me and you gonna have a talk. I had to run down through there that I was not new to school systems because my entire family is in education. A lot of my family. And the reason I'm not is because I don't want to wear orange or white. And I'm not going for the foolishness, okay? So that's why I'm not. Love children. Used to think I wanted a daycare. But then I started thinking about the parents and I thought, no, not at all. But anyway, that's a story for another day. So on the way home, I'm talking to my son, asking him, I said, give me every detail. No detail is too small. Because you know a girl thinks she's already a low-key detective. Come to find out, and the teacher liked Liam, but she didn't see, as always, right? She didn't see what the kid did to Liam. She just saw what happened. Because my son did not start the fight, but he ended the fight. So Liam said he's always out of his seat. He wasn't in his seat today. He wasn't this. So I politely emailed everybody involved and gave them all the details that Lemuel had given me. I said, now, while you cannot talk about his record, the teacher can definitely attest to that she's always having a disciplinary problem with him. So why is my son when he retaliates? So I taught Liam this simple thing. Whenever a bully is messing with you, you say, hey, and then you hit them or push them. Because there's two things going on. The bully is always trying to challenge the child. We know that happens all the time. They're trying to see how far they can go. And if you teach your child to walk away or never fight, don't get in trouble, then you're setting them up to be hurt. And as we have seen with the young lady on the bus stop, when all those kids got off to fight her and she died at the bus stop. Well, she didn't die at the bus stop, but she succumbed to her injuries. You notice how we always hear about the victims, but you never hear about the bullies? The bullies are always going to try. And our job is to teach our children how to retaliate and to be safe at the same time. So the hey was like the loud noise to get everybody's attention to let the teacher know something happened to me. And then when you push, it's like, what happened? And then you have something to say, they started and I did this. And I'm telling you, if your parents, start teaching them that early. Because you always want them to have a line of defense. In this Carmelo Anthony case, we are seeing that the bully who never thought anything would happen to him, went too far. Again, I cannot reiterate enough how they had no business at the track meet. Then they were trying to make him get away from a tent that he was told to sit under due to weather. Once again, not their job. They took his cell phone. It was two of them against him. If that had been black boys, this would have been already settled. They would have gone in such a different way. But they cannot believe that this bully, although I don't want to see any child die, he actually ran up on something and he got what he wasn't looking for. And I know that the father of those twins knew that they had that in them. And it's hard to admit, and I'm not saying this, I don't get any joy out of it. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. Like the little kid that was, a behavior problem with my son. My point and my problem was that they were about to punish a child who was crying, my kid, crying because he did not want to get put out of a program. And yet the child who's always in trouble, they didn't even think about it. It never hit their head. Hello, this is the problem person. But guess what? My son was black. That kid was white. See, when I say stuff, I'm not saying it to just be out here saying something or because I'm so militant. And that's why I warn all these new school parents, don't stop acting stupid. And I'm just going to call you stupid. Racism is and always has been a thing. And your little ignorance and your pretending like it's not about, that's not going to change it. And when you send your children out there unaware, you are setting them up for failure. And then they'll start believing something is wrong with them. And then they will start buying into it. And that's the only reason racism works. When we stop speaking out for ourselves and when we start to buy into something is wrong with us, at that point, you get division in the black community. You start taking stuff. You keep trying to belittle, thinking if I shrink myself, they'll leave me alone. And they will never stop. Because the bullies like the Proud Boys, the KKK, these twins, they always want to dominate. And they are miserable, hateful people. And it will never be enough. They will always keep coming after you. You have to stop a bully by any means necessary. No, I hate that man lost a son. I do. But I know that wasn't the first time that they've done that. I know they've gotten away with it. We're talking about Collin County. I had a friend that moved from Arkansas, and she moved and went, and those kids ended up there, and they were like in culture shock. Because while Arkansas is a small-minded mentality state sometimes, unless you are very rural, you didn't see the racism as blatantly. Now, it was there. I'm not going to lie. It is there. But you didn't see it as blatantly. And in the Plano and Collin district where they're more affluent and they move out, honey, they are very, very secure and confident in showing their racism. They don't care. They don't mind. They let you know you less than. Even when it comes to the athletic programs. Because Texas goes hard about football and stuff. So obviously they want to see their people win. That athlete, if it's a black athlete and he makes it out, and he makes it out of a school that's well balanced racially, it's because he is stellar. Because trust and believe, they get tried every way possible. I talked to too many parents, served in the PTA for years. I'm not making this up. I'm telling you. So don't send your children out there. You may not want to think about race, but it's not us that thinks about it. So stop taking the blame. Stop taking the fall. Stop blaming yourself for something we did not start. It's been your girl, Candid with Kim. Because if it needs to be said, you know I'm going to say it. Okay, let the comments roll.